Yo, can anybody hear me?
Testing 1. Testing 2. Testing 3. Can y'all hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3. Oh, are we on the air? What's up, everybody?
Let's get this crack-a-lackin'.
We a little late tonight. A little late.
Skinny Shan, we need to change that picture, man. Great. Is that a breeze strip? Or is that a Band-Aid? You on mute, sir. Somebody unmute. Not see. Move him away from Robert and Wes. I don't know. Move him away. His audio messing.
Robert is unmuted, so I don't know what's going on.
No, I'm talking about Daryl. Move him away from Robert and Wes. You know, he like right there. Wes is right there, and Robert is right there. There.
So where you trying to shuffle him?
Put him in the corner away so his audio can work. And I'm just messing. Good evening. Sorry we're a little bit late, but nevertheless we are always on time. And welcome to Thursday night's edition of Ask a Black Man Anything. And the reason why I say Thursday night is because on Tuesday, if you miss us, we actually are also on Clubhouse, where we originally started about a year and a half ago now. And we welcome you to YouTube, the brand Ask a Black Man Anything. And if you can't see it because my IG name is there, the real _ Chris Davis. Actually, the shirt does say Ask a Black Man Anything. So hopefully you fellas are doing good. Daryl, I see you with the breeze strip. Hopefully you ain't getting into a fight with a bear because I'm gonna help the bear.
I was about to say who clocked Daryl.
Right. Oh, look, you got him close to this guy and that guy. His audio's still messing up.
You muted, DB.
He might have to go out. I just have to go out and come back in.
Yeah, DB, go out and come back in.
Hit the leave button, though. Don't just close the window.
Yeah, I blame that on you, sir.
Always do.
Are you on your iPad today?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have anything connected to it?
It ain't even charging, and the charge is going down fast.
Tell me you've been charging it all day.
It's at 93%. It was at 100 when we started the countdown, so it's moving quick.
Oh, that's terrible. Well, what up, Shaheed? What up, Wes? What up, Colin?
That's good.
And prayers to you, brother, man, for catching the Rona. I know we ain't heard that in a while. DB, give me a sound check. You on mute again. See? It's Robert. I blame Robert.
It's that nose strip. Got his voice mute.
Nah, it's you, sir. You and Wes. Y'all brought this
Hey,
COVID.
Audio and video was spectacular. What are you talking about?
Sir, you brought this COVID nonsense to Daryl that now has infected his audio. He was never had a problem. Never.
His computer has a virus.
No. It's his computer. His audio has your coronavirus audio.
I don't know how it happened.
Yeah, it's you and Wes every week. Wes, give me a sound check, man. What's happening?
What's happening, my brother?
Look at God, I tell you.
Look at God.
We're in the building. Mr. Muhammad, you good over there, good sir?
I'm good. What's happening? How y'all doing?
Man, I'm gonna have to just let that guy fly. He over there maxing and relaxing.
He always good.
Facts.
Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool while shooting some b-ball outside the school.
Yes, sir. Mr. Hardiman, how's your week going?
It's going good.
Can we just take a moment to right. I forgot the rest of the lyrics, but I just want to acknowledge Mr. Muhammad's swag. Check him out. Wait, look at Go
Hey,
ahead and rub your chin like you did a minute ago. Let's the young buck, the young bull in the house, in the
Hey,
building.
hey, Wes, real talk. He looked like he at the movies or on a date. He like, yeah, you know what it is. You
Right,
know what
go on and pan that camera over. Let's see what's on it.
I'm
What's hanging on your arm.
I'm right in my living room. It ain't nothing but some pillows over here.
here. Hey, I ain't gonna blow up nobody's spot, but I heard last week that somebody was trying to get a shout out. I'm like, look, stay off camera.
Oh wow, wait.
I mean, me, I don't know what's going on.
Nah, they know who they is.
I don't know what's happening right now.
Neither do I. Daryl, can we hear you now? What's going on, man?
What did you do different,
What did you
DB?
do different today, Daryl?
You might have to hit that cogwheel, Daryl, and check your audio on your settings on the
Exactly. Yeah, so hit that cogwheel on the right-hand side. And then when that window pops up, look under audio and see what it's selected.
You might have noise suppression, echo cancellation, default.
What you got bugged in your computer?
Trying to mute it. Taking them off mute. Maybe that works.
Right, Robertson. If anybody knows how to mess up audio, it's Robert. Look at that. Look at that.
No, that was me. That was me.
Would you kicked him out?
On accident because I was trying to mute Daryl. As soon as I touched Daryl's mute button, he disappeared.
He went out.
I accidentally hit Robert. Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Robert's how to do.
Yeah, I'm good.
Anyways, glad everybody's week was good, and yeah. So because we got a little delay, I'm gonna just jump right into it. Let you all know that this week and going forward, we got something good for you. We got this guy right here with the tip of the week. I just dropped it to you.
Tip of the day.
Dang.
What's up, everybody? Yes, so we're trying something a little different with our format. So every single week, since every single one of us gentlemen are uniquely gifted in our own way, we're going to be offering tips and advice just from our expertise and just our areas of the industries that we're in. So tonight's tip of the day is actually going to be, it should come up on the screen here. There it is, right there. So the basics to starting a business. That's what I'm gonna go over today. So we don't have the timer tonight, fellas. So if one of y'all want to go on your phone and start the countdown from 30 minutes, we'll take 30 minutes to go over the tips really quick. Let me pull up this presentation.
Oh, he got the presentation and now he got the PowerPoint. Clock is ticking.
We could just use this live clock we got right here.
Yep, 52.
The timer's there
This way.
in the video storage.
Okay. 1 second, y'all. He works fast, everyone.
In the meantime, how are you doing, Shan?
I'm Gucci.
All right. There we go. I'm on the clock. So anyway, everyone, as I stated, the basics to starting a business. As y'all know or may not know, I am a business owner / entrepreneur, and I run a digital media company. So the reason I wanted to talk about this particular subject, because I know a lot of us missed out on a lot of free money during the pandemic. And that's mainly because we have not established our business entities in the correct way. We're pretty much running just, a little Pookie and Ray Ray pop-up shop and things like that. We're doing business, but in the eyes of the state or the government, we're not seen as a legitimate business. So therefore, a lot of people, unfortunately, in the community did not qualify for the PPP and EIDL loans there. So this is just basically to go over the fundamentals or just the basics to starting a business, just so if any instance or any incident like this happens again, you will be set up in the future to position yourself to receive some free funds. And then, of course, these fellas can chime in as well to offer their tidbits that I might not cover, because I believe majority of the panel here is made up of entrepreneurs. So I will go ahead and get started. Start it. All right, so the basics to starting a business. Like I said, my name is Colin Hardiman, and can y'all see this okay?
Yeah, I'm actually about to blow it up on my
Perfect.
I thought it was going to fill up the screen, but that did it. No,
That's better.
A little bit more. There we go. Yes. All right. So yes, the basics of starting business. I'm Colin Hardiman, and my other fellow entrepreneurs. Go ahead and announce yourselves, business owners.
Hi, my name is Mr. Shannon Rawls, and I am an entrepreneur.
Oh, my name is Bobby Longmire. I'm also.
Wow, Bobby. I'm
What's
West
up, Bobby?
Stewart.
Okay.
West Stewart, entrepreneur.
Chris Davis, business owner and entrepreneur.
So any of us will be able to chime in and give some tips, because I know there might be some things that I miss. But I want to go really quickly over the myths of business. So first of all, the first bullet point, many business owners, and I put in quotations business owners, because once again, if you're not seen as legitimate in the state and the federal government, you are not a business owner. And so many business owners and entrepreneurs missed out on free money during the pandemic because they were not legitimately set up, looked at as or looked at as a professional business. So I already went over that, but basically because people weren't set up correctly, they missed out on tons of money just out there. So one myth debunked is the government doesn't want to see its citizens become independent and become entrepreneurs and business owners. That is a myth, because it is quite the contrary. The government does want to see business owners, particularly small business owners, because whether you know this or not, small business owners and small businesses are the backbone of the U.S. economy. All these big companies you see today, whether Apple, Google, IBM, Chase, they all started as a business owner. It started off as somebody's idea, and they put action behind it and grew that thing. They put the foot to the floor and did everything to build up their business. It became sustainable. It started growing. It started making a lot of money. They hired more people, and it just duplicated. And that's what you see today. So I know we would like to think that somebody just poured a pot of water into the ground and sprouted up some skyscrapers, but that is not how it started. This was somebody's idea that started, and it grew, and these are the prominent buildings that we see that shape the landscape of some of our biggest cities. So the government definitely wants to help small business owners and small businesses thrive. There's lots of incentives out there. There's lots of resources out there, because once again, small businesses are the backbone of the American economy. So if you do it correctly, there are tons of resources out there to set you up for success and get you started, getting your own company, getting your own skyscraper, or getting your own name, and making your own mark, and hiring more folks out there. So that's one myth. And then another myth is it's expensive to start a business and you need to have a stash saved up. So that's another myth, because you don't need a lot of money to start a business. It's definitely and highly recommended, because as I get more into this presentation, you're going to see where money starts to come. But starting off, you really don't need to have a stash. You can literally have less than $300 to get started. So I'll go over that soon. But the next myth is you can use your home address for your business. So that is a myth. That's false, because when you set up your entity, you do not want to be using your address. Take it from experience, because I'm talking from experience, because I started my business initially using multiple different addresses. They were all personal addresses because I just moved to the Houston area. So I had a home in Austin, and then I used my temporary address here in Houston until I got myself established. And that ended up coming back to bite me in the butt, and it cost me a lot of money to get amendments and things like that to get those changed. So as you're starting off, you want to streamline everything. So do not, I repeat, do not use your personal address as your business or for your business. Before I move on, did anybody have anything to chime in as far as like those myths I just went over? Anybody have any ads?
I asked because I've done my businesses. I've started a few.
Robert, your audio, you're going in and out, bruh. Shan said, "Oh Lord,
this is, you gotta be kidding me.
This is a professional production, Robert. You're embarrassing us."
And I'm working.
I'm just kidding.
That's fun.
Yeah, your audio's trash, bruh.
Never use that. It didn't work last week. It didn't work the week before. So never use it again. Like, don't think that the next week is gonna miraculously work.
Anybody else want to chime in on these 4 myths?
No, keep going. We'll get Robert's audio later.
You might jump out and come back in again, Robert, or whatever you did last week to fix your audio. All right, so I'm going to go into different steps. So step 1, so this is dealing with that bullet point of it's expensive to start a business. So even though it's a myth, so step 1 is setting up an entity. So even though it's not on here, you can set up what's called a DBA. It's called a doing business as. You can literally go to your local tax assessor's office and get a DBA for $25. Like, no lie, no cap, no chaser. I don't know if that's still true today, because that was 10 years ago that I got my DBA, but it lasts for 10 years. You can renew it every single 10 years. You literally search a database to see first if the name of your entity is taken. If it's not, then you can simply put in your business name or entity name and then register it, and you can get a DBA at the tax assessor's office. It's only $25. It lasts for 10 years, and you can legitimately do business or be recognized as having some kind of certification in the eyes of the state or the city at a local level. Robert, are you back? Shannon, I'm gonna let you control bringing people in, because I think DB and Robert are sitting back there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can get your DBA and start off or set up your business with that. So once again, when you get your DBA, make sure that you use a business address. And I'll go into that also. But DBA is very low level. So if you're just starting out, if you're on a budget and things like that, that's what I recommend, because you can still open a business bank account and other things with the DBA. But what you want to go for is what I'm about to go into right now. So, but before you do anything, you need to first know what service you're providing. So what product or what product are you selling? So before you set up any kind of business, you should already be established enough to where it's like you're selling something or you're providing a service to somebody. You don't want to set all these things up and then try to figure out what it is that you want to do. You should already have that established. You should already have that set up. You should already have your pricing. You need to have your pricing structure. You already should have those essential things set up before you start up a business. Because once again, most of this should be a passion of ours, because you don't want to be in entrepreneurship if you're not passionate about what you're doing. If you're not passionate, you don't have any joy with what you're doing, you might as well go clock in, go get a 9-to-5, or figure out what it is that you're good at doing, because there will be some hardship that comes along with running a business. And the thing that's going to keep you in it and getting you through is that passion. So it's just going to be that desire to keep on pushing. So you got to love what you're doing, because you're essentially turning your passion into a career. So sole proprietorship is the most common type of entity. And the pros of doing a sole proprietorship is easy to start. You can literally go to irs.gov and get a sole proprietorship. And same thing is with the DBA. You search the entity name and make sure that that name is not taken. If it's not, you can literally get a sole proprietorship under that same name. More than likely, if you get a DBA first, that name is yours. It's already locked, and you can simply just get an LLC in that same name. The LLC, the sole proprietorship will supersede the DBA, but you can use both interchangeably. So the pros, once again, is easy to start. No need to register your business with the state. There's no corporate formalities or paperwork requirements such as meeting minutes, bylaws, etc. You can deduct most business losses on your personal tax return, and tax filing is easy. Simply fill out and attach a Schedule C profit or loss from your business to your personal income tax return. So with a sole proprietorship, you can still do it on your W-2. You don't need to do like a separate business tax return or anything like that. So that's why that's the most common type. That's why it's the most easiest one, because there's really like not a lot of risk with doing a sole proprietorship. There's not a lot of paperwork involved. But the cons is, as the only owner, you're personally responsible for all the business's debts and liabilities. Someone who wins a lawsuit against your business can take your personal assets, which is your car, personal bank accounts, even your home in some situations. There's no real separation between you and the business, so it's more difficult to get a business loan and raise money. Lenders and investors prefer LLCs or corporations. It's harder to build business credit without a registered business entity. So once again, if I had to categorize these things, the DBA and the sole proprietorship are like the lowest level you can get. But once again, you see the cons here. Those are pretty big cons because it's about establishing, how much time do I have? 17 minutes. So it's about establishing discipline also, because when you start a business entity, you do not want to be merging your personal with your business. Like if you already have that habit of just spending on your personal side, you are going to have some big trouble. You're going to run into some issues, especially when you're trying to get a loan for your business. Because if you have just a personal account and you got business stuff going through there and you're spending business stuff in your personal account and vice versa, your bank is going to deny you flat out because they're going to be looking at you crazy as you're going through your transaction. Like, oh no, the groceries. Okay, that was personal. This is personal. Oh yeah, this is business. They're going to be looking at you crazy. So you don't want to be merging or consolidating your business and your personal expenses. Anybody want to comment on this part, the sole proprietorship?
Yeah, quick question. So there's two things that you mentioned. You mentioned that one, you should not start your business until you have all your pricing and all that kind of stuff set. And then two, the sole proprietorship is one of the lowest forms of having a business. But okay, so to the first one, is there any particular reason why you think somebody shouldn't file their paperwork or do their DBA or do anything like that until they have their entire business structure put in hand? Or is it okay to go ahead and get their business started, get the ball rolling, and then get all that pricing and all the details later? Because I think that a lot of people have what we all call analysis paralysis, and because the pricing ain't right and they haven't next thing you know, they've scared themselves and they may never start at all. But if they were to put the horse before the carriage and say, look, let me get this paperwork out of the way, especially as easy as you said it was, then that would give them the encouragement to do the rest of the stuff. What do you think?
Absolutely. It can go either way, because if people get their DBA first and things like that, they might be tempted to, oh my God, I'm excited. I got my DBA, I got my paperwork, I'm set up. And then it could be like the inverse of what you just said, to where it's just like, now they're discouraged because like now they're trying to get all their things together or get their paperwork and everything together. So there's no right or wrong answers. That's completely true what Shan said. You can definitely get all the paper and rigmarole out the way with the business of setting it up and all that kind of stuff. So it's already sitting there ready to be launched while you figure out the pricing and things like that. So like I said, these are all experiences. So this is just going off my experience. This is how I set up my business, but you can very well do the opposite. You can get your pricing and structure set up later. You can set up the business entity and do all the paperwork first. So there's really
Okay.
no right or wrong. So yes, Shannon. Thank you.
Okay, cool. And then to the second half of my question was where you were calling. Now I know you didn't get into the other types of entities yet. The first one you started with was sole proprietorship. But to your original point of people thinking that it's expensive to start a business, it's going to cost me a lot of money, and you just basically said, "Look, bro, all you got to do is go down to the county registrar, drop $25, and you done." And literally, you know, officially, with at least within your area, you have a business. But does it get more expensive / complicated once we get past the sole proprietorship? Since you say that that's the worst one or the most unsafe one to do.
Right, it's the most common one. So if you're just starting out the gate, if people simply just want to do business, they already got their hustle, they already got their thing that they're doing, and they simply want to be legit in the eyes of the state. So whether that's a food vendor or something like that, because you got to get permits and things like that just to go to South by Southwest and set up shop in and around the convention center or on the grounds or something like that, or it might be like a career fair or whatever it might be. The state will require those documents, either a DBA or a sole proprietorship. So if somebody's just out the gate, want to just hit the ground running, it's just like those are the bare basics that they can start with. That will be a low cost. But yes,
Okay. All right, cool.
in the future.
All right,
But yeah, we're always thinking about scaling. So it's just like priority should always be to scale the business in the future. So yeah, I guess if I had to categorize that, if you want to hit the streets running, you already got your thing. It's just like, I'm getting tired of the state shutting me down because I don't got this. All right, just go to your assessor office, go to irs.gov, get your DBA at the assessor, or get your sole proprietorship at irs.gov, and that's sufficient enough for you to get a permit with the state to do your thing, or with the city to go do your thing. So, but yeah, did that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Cool, thank you.
No problem. Anybody else have anything? See, this time is just eating away. I got to speed up now. All right. So, what was that?
I didn't say anything.
Okay. So next is the limited liability company. I list all the other ones, but I'm not going into the pro and cons of everything else. Y'all can literally go look that up yourselves. But the limited liability company takes positive features from each of the other business entity types, like corporations. LLCs offer limited liability protections, but LLCs also have less paperwork and ongoing requirements. And in that sense, they are more like sole proprietorships and partnerships. Another big benefit is that you can choose how you want the IRS to tax your LLC. You can elect to have the IRS treat it as a corporation or a pass-through entity on your taxes. One big thing I forgot to mention. So with those two, the sole proprietorship and the DBA, that is huge. If somebody sues you, they're coming after you personally. They're coming after your personal assets. So LLC, once you get into LLC territory, the next level up, now this is where you start separating yourself from your entity. Your separate stuff is separate from your company. So the pros is owners don't have personal liability for the business debts or liabilities, as I just explained. Then also you can choose whether you want your LLC to be taxed as a partnership or as a corporation. I'll get into those. I'm going to gloss over those quickly. Then not as many corporate formalities compared to an S Corp or C Corp. So the cons is it's more expensive to create an LLC than a sole proprietorship or partnership, because this requires a registration with the state. So like I said, now you're going into another level. So when you get an LLC, you now have to go to your state's website and register your business. You got to get a state operating agreement, or what's called a state operating agreement. So you have to basically register with the state. The state has to recognize you as a legitimate entity. LLC, you can still, I'm actually a sole proprietorship and an LLC. So I have a sole proprietorship LLC. So you can merge those two, but you have to register with the state, and they will tax you. So it costs money to register with the state. You're looking at anywhere from like $300 to $500, even more if you hire somebody to do the paperwork for you, because it is a little bit of paperwork involved. But you can literally do it, have to, unless you're just lazy or you're just too busy to do it. You can just hire somebody to do all the paperwork for you, and they'll file it for you. But out of your pocket, you're looking at about $300, $500. It typically takes maybe 1 to 2 weeks for them to approve you. But once you're approved, you are now registered in your state as a legitimate LLC or sole proprietorship entity. So every year you will be taxed by the state. So just be ready for that. So it's like now you're starting to look at costs. So that's why I was like, it's not expensive to start a business, but depending on what entity you set up, then you're going to start looking at some expenses. So based on how your business is set up, how you want to protect yourself, how you want to form your business, you're going to be looking at different costs. And right here it says LLCs are popular among small business owners, including freelancers, because they combine the best of many worlds, the ease of a sole proprietorship or partnership with the legal protections of a corporation. So once again, it's not that much paperwork, but you have the protections. If somebody sues you or comes after you, they can't come after your own personal assets and things like that. You're not affected. They're coming after the business. And then there's even protections with that also. Anybody have anything y'all want to chime in on LLCs or any of these, S Corp, C Corp, limited partnership?
Yeah, just be sure to check with your state Secretary of State to see the cost. Every state may have a different cost. So, it may not be $300, it may not be $500, could be $75. Like in state of Georgia, it's a lower cost. New York State may be different. So just check with your Secretary of State the costs. So you're not afraid or you talk yourself out of it because one cost in the state of Texas or in California is different than the cost in your local state.
Thank you, Chris. S Corps, I'm literally to the point where I'm about to S Corp because just the growth of my company. But with S Corp, that requires like quarterly meetings and things like that. So usually if you have like a board of directors or anything like that, or you have like a co-founder or something like that, S Corps are essential. They're not necessary, but S Corps are essential. So that includes like doing like quarterly meetings. And you got to like write those things off. Like you got to jot all those quarterly meetings down. You got to take down those hours. And that comes into play with taxes and things like that. So with the S Corp, you get a significant more amount of tax breaks and things like that and incentives when you are S Corp and a C Corp. So, but like I said, you can literally you can just Google all these different corporations and see what the benefits of these are. But I'm not going to go way into these because I simply don't have the time. But limited partnership, I ain't going to speak much on those because I'm not that familiar with limited partnership and general partnership, but I just know you're involving another person. So if you get into a partnership with a friend or another business owner or something like that, and y'all come together, there's rules and stipulations that go into that because you got to go into percentages of ownership and things like that. Who gets what? Is it 50-50 down the middle or is it 25-75? And it's a lot more paperwork because usually that involves lawyers. Because if it's a messy situation, partnerships are just like marriages. They're just like relationships. They're like literally like marriages. So if y'all end on bad terms, if it's a bad breakup, it could be a lot of mess involved with that. Like who gets this? Who gets this? So it's very common to get lawyers involved when you're doing any kind of limited partnership or general partnership. Because if there's a split or separation, those lines need to be clear once that split happens. So in summary, with all of this, it says better understanding of how the common business entity types work and their respective pros and cons. You can now determine which type works best for your small business. The best course of action is if you can afford it, is to consult a business lawyer and tax professional on which structure is optimal for you, given where your business is currently and where you hope to take it. So I have a CPA and he advises me. So he was going to have me S Corp this year, but he actually had me hold off. He was just like, wait one more year and let's see how your business does this year, which was a great call because we're in a recession right now. So, business, so that was a great call on his part for me to hold off on S Corp in my business. But it's good to go off the advice of a professional that knows what they're doing, that knows the structure of your business, and they can guide you. They can prod you in the proper direction so you're not making costly mistakes or risking being audited because you incorrectly formalize. All right, so step 2 is register your EIN. So when you get an LLC or sole proprietorship, you want to get an EIN. EIN is like basically your business's social security number. Treat your business like another person, like another human. Like I literally call my business, even to this day, my baby. My baby just turned 14 years old on July 21st because I started my business on my birthday. So happy 14th birthday, baby. So the EIN is like your business's social security number. So that's how the government, that's how the IRS, and that's how everybody, the bank, recognizes your business. Like it's basically, like your business's call sign. Anything major you're trying to do with the business, whether taking out a loan, opening a business account, going after state or federal contracts, you are going to need an EIN. There's going to be a lot of things that you will not be able to do if you do not have an EIN number. And this is the most easiest thing you can do. You can literally go to irs.gov, and on that front page, you will see apply for EIN. It literally is an online application. I think it takes 5 to 10 minutes. You just fill out the information, which is why you would need to have all the other information ahead of time before registering your EIN, which is the business name, what kind of formation. You need to already have that before you get an EIN, because they're going to ask you those questions. What's the name of your business? What entity is it? Is it S Corp, sole proprietorship, LLC? So do it in this order. But that's easy. You'll have your EIN number. Like it's going to be automatic approval as long as like you meet the requirements. You fill out all the information. You'll be approved within 5 to 10 minutes. You'll have an EIN number. Keep digital copies everywhere with you. I don't know how many times I've been asked for my EIN, and I like literally just put it on a flash drive. So I take it everywhere with me. So it's like when I have my laptop with me, anybody needs it. I mean, I know it by heart now. I don't no longer have to take my flash drive, but I know it by heart. I got my EIN memorized. But before, everywhere I would go and do paperwork for my business or do things to scale my business, I was always hit with, what's your business EIN? I'm like, don't have it on me. So I had to call my CPA or my bookkeeper and get it from them. So go to irs.gov, register your EIN. It's easy. This is like the easiest thing you can do with setting up a business. So step 2A, if you're registered with an LLC, limited partnership, C Corp, S Corp, you have to register with the state. If your formation is any one of these entities, you have to register with the state. If you have a general partnership or the sole proprietorship or the DBA, once again, you do not have to register with the state. But if you have an LLC, limited partnership, C Corp, S Corp, you have to register with the state. So everything I said about as far as like going to the state website, paying that fee for the paperwork, and waiting for the state to approve you. So you have to do that. There's no way around that. If you're an LLC, limited partnership, C Corp, S Corp. So go to your state's website and search for operating agreement. Just search at your state's website, operating agreement, and you'll see the process to start the application to register with the state. You will go through the process of filing and paying the necessary fees. So just be ready for that. Have that money set aside. Set aside where the money resides. I ain't gonna have time to finish this. I got 3 more steps. All right. So do y'all want me to continue on, or is it kind of just do a continuation? Or y'all want me to keep going?
We're doing
get it in the next show.
Say what?
We'll let you get it next week.
All right. This was my tips for today. Hopefully that was helpful. If y'all have any questions, I do have. Go ahead.
How much more you got?
I got 3 more steps.
30 minutes, so we had 25 seconds.
Yeah, I know. But that's okay. Run through it.
I can blow through them.
Yeah.
Just give me 5 more minutes. All right. So step 3. So step 3 is open a business bank account. So everything I said before. So this does not have to be a big commercial bank. It can also be a small credit or federal credit union. To grow your business. And access capital, it is critical that you establish a long-lasting relationship with your bank. So just some important bullet points. Use your business address. There it is again. Use your business address and legal business name when opening your business account. Everything you do, every paperwork, state operating agreement, formation, whether the LLC partnership, opening a business account, whatever you are doing, when you go get a virtual business address, whatever, I actually skipped that point. So register, go get a virtual address. So when I say get a business address, you don't want to use your personal address. You can literally go to Spaces or Regency or WeWork Spaces and get like a virtual office space. You can get a virtual office. And the great thing about that is looked at as a legitimate office space because you can literally make your office anywhere. You can put your office downtown. You can put it in a, what do you call it? A hub area, which is like a underutilized business district, because just with your business being an underutilized business district, that can qualify you for different like government loans and programs and things like that, because you might live in upscale Bel Air or something like that, but you can like literally put your virtual business address in a low income area and still qualify for all these incentives and free money because your business is still in an underutilized district. So that's the great thing about virtual addresses, because you can literally place them anywhere. So yeah, yes.
Question. I know that our virtual business office usually start at like $59 a month. What are they averaging where you are, and what's the average?
That's literally what I'm paying. Mine was $59 also, but I added mailing to mine, so that added like 20 more bucks to it. So I'm paying like $80 a month for mine. So I get mail sent there and all that kind of stuff. And all of this is important. Like everything that I do for the business is like, it's strategic. There's a reason for everything. So even setting up a mailing address, because when you register your business with Google and things like that, this is more advanced. So it's not in this one. But when you register your business on Google, like you show up on basically Google Maps and Google reviews, they'll send you mail. They'll actually send you a verification to wherever you list your business address is. So I have that option of where I receive mail at my business address also. So it's important that y'all do that too, they don't look at PO boxes. Government, state, city hates PO boxes. So that's why I said when you get a virtual address, just go ahead and get the option to get mail sent to that virtual address.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. I think one thing I wanted to add is you pointed out I started my LLC 3 years ago with my home address, but like on my consultation sheets and my letterheads, I had added my virtual address, so I got to go back and go to my business accounts and all that stuff and had all that switched over. So definitely, I learned something today.
Yep.
Yeah,
cool.
One of the other things,
Shan, put those comments on screen too. Go ahead, Robert.
one of the other things you had mentioned, Colin, where you were just saying not to use PO boxes, but what you can do is you can go to the UPS store. They have boxes that are just like a mailing address, and they'll give you a unit number. You just put that unit number as your address, along with the UPS store, and that still counts. I also started as a sole proprietor with my first business, and I moved it to an LLC. Like you were saying earlier, or I think maybe Shan brought it up, the biggest key is for everyone to get started, no matter which route you take. Get started, because that fear of making sure everything is right before you start is real. And once you get past that, you'll flourish.
Absolutely. And thank you for that.
And one thing about that, though, Rob, I know what you're talking about, but to Colin's to what he was saying, though, yes, you can use those UPS store. You can use them as mailing addresses and the business address, and it'll give you the look of a physical unit. But when you start dealing with the government, they know those addresses. They know that it's the UPS store address, even if they give you a suite or unit number. And so that's to Colin's point. You can use anything, and it's a great place to have. If you're just simply trying to separate your home from your business, that's great. If you don't want people to know where your personal address is and show up all over Google and other places, that's great. But to those very important things that you might want to qualify for, as far as the government and other organizations, they are absolutely aware of when you have a physical address at one of these places, like in an office building, like a WeWork or something like that, versus those UPS store addresses, even though they give you a physical address. Am I correct, Colin?
That is correct, because there is levels to this. What Wes is talking about is high level stuff. We ain't there yet.
But that's what I'm saying.
Like,
Like if
like
somebody's
you want to
just
start
starting,
off, but once you get to city contracting, state contracting requires way more. But once you get into federal and government contract, you got to have all your ish together before you even come to the government. So, but like I said, there's levels to this, but this is like the bare basics to get you to that point.
I think there's ways to deal with it all. I believe what Wes is talking about is absolutely correct. I know with my first business, I did business with the DoD, and I had that UPS store as my address. It may just depend on what it is you're doing with them. But like I said, the biggest thing is getting started, and of course, as you go higher up, all your ducks got to be in a row. So
This is all great advice, fellas. Thank y'all. Anybody else have anything? All right, I'm gonna breeze through these real quick. So use your business address and legal business name when opening a business account. The bank will ask you for your business's EIN number, so be sure to have it handy with you. Most importantly, keep all your business transactions separate from your personal transactions and vice versa. This is also necessary to use the bank's money and not your own. So once again, even if you just want to hit the gate running and you go get a DBA or a sole proprietorship, separate your personal expenses from your business expenses. Just go ahead and open up a business account and do not merge those things, because once you start merging stuff, it gets all consolidated. It's a mess, and the bank does not like that. They will deny you flat out if they're asking to see your figures or see your transactions, and then you're printing out bank statements from your personal account. They automatically can be like, okay, where's your business stuff? Oh yeah, I don't have a business account. Oh, okay, denied. So go ahead and set up a business business bank account, and you can go to a federal credit union, or you can go to one of the big banks, Chase, City. But just look at the brochures. Everybody offers their own like offers and benefits and things like that. So when you go into the bank, just see what they offer for business accounts. Some offer like no fees and all that kind of stuff, no monthly fees, and some have safe deposit boxes and all that kind of stuff. So just do your research and find out who offers the most, because all these banks want your business. They want your business. So they'll offer all these incentives. So just go with the best one or what works for you, and then go open an account with that institution.
furthermore on that, Colin, before you move on, that is like how you were saying not to use your house. That is one of the biggest reasons why you separate your incomes between your business and yourself. Because if you use that, if you use your own income, or you use your business income as your own, if anything should happen, when you go to court, they're going to say that your business is you and you are your business and you are liable for anything that happens. So
Right.
definitely separating those accounts is more important to protect yourself from being sued, even though you have your LLC and you think that nothing's going to happen to you. If you merge your money with your LLC money, they're coming after you. So
Right. Exactly. Great point, Robert. So, and that, like I said, that's going to save you a lot of heartache and headache in the future, because when you try to go for these loans or contracts and things like that, if the virtual address is different from the EIN address or state operating agreement, all of those need to be in alignment. So I had to get an amendment on my state operating agreement. That cost me an additional $300 to just update an address. So it's costly. So just do it right the first time. Streamline everything. Make sure all business stuff has all business addresses all across the board. Don't have your auntie's address on there. Don't have your friend's address on this. All business. Step 4, create a professional website. So I'm gonna breeze through this because this is your business card. This is how everyone finds you. So you have all these other steps already. You have your business set up. You have your business account. You have your LLC. You have your EIN. So you are a legitimate, established business in the eyes of the state, city, government. Congratulations. Woo! So, but now we got to get the customers. Now we got to drive the business, and also we're not out the woods yet, because if you go after those things, the state, city, or government contracts, they're gonna want to see a professional website. If you give them Facebook.com, if you give them TikTok, Instagram, it's like, hey, where's your website? Oh, it's Instagram. Oh, yeah, you just shot yourself in the foot. You just took yourself out the running. Got to have a professional website. So this is your business card. This is how everyone finds you. And I mean everyone, not just customers, but the government, whoever you're trying to do business with, clients who might want to do business with you, future clients, they're going to want to see a website. So this is how everyone finds you, buys your service, product, and determines whether or not your business is legitimate. Trust me, people are judging you. If you do not, I judge people. If I'm trying to hire somebody to do something I need done because I don't have time to do it myself, I'm like, what? Hey, what's your website? Oh, it's down right now. Or they give me a website and it goes to a broken link or something like that. I'm already like, Hey, Colin, you want to go? Just following up? Did you want to go with me? Haven't heard from you in a while. No, I'm not no longer interested. I'm going a different direction. Like, seriously. It just shows legitimacy. It just shows that people are serious, that they actually have a real service or product that they're selling. So you can easily create a Wix, WordPress, or Squarespace website. There are numerous other options out there, but stick to the professional do-it-yourself website builders. When you have the financial capital or means, you can hire a professional firm to build your website more in depth, because that includes SEO, e-commerce, meta tags, all these other things that comes with establishing a professional website. Because all that meta tags, like that makes a big difference, because that's how people find you. People search a certain service that you'd offer. This is where you show up in the search engine. So when you have a professional firm that's building your website, that's been building a website for 20, 30 years, they know what they're doing. You simply just brain dump on them, give them images, give them the bare basics, your mission statement, your about, your services. They will literally just build it like in 2 days, and you'll have a professional website. So also the other big thing is also set up a professional email. So this should match the name of the domain. So example, if your website is www.preciousmetals.com, your email should be info@preciousmetals.com or contact@preciousmetals.com. Do not use Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, etc. for your business email. This is tacky and will make you look amateurish. Once again, once you get to the bigger levels, city, state, government, they're going to be looking for website. If you're emailing them, if you're going for bids and all that kind of stuff, and you're replying with a Gmail or a Hotmail, they look at everything. And not even on that level, but even just like clients who might want to deal with you. If they're emailing you from a Hotmail account or Gmail, it's frowned upon. Gmail is more legitimate, but Hotmail, Yahoo is like axe those. Get those out of your vocabulary. So whoever sets up your website, whether you're setting it up yourself or you got a professional firm, make sure whatever hosting domain site you go with, whether it's GoDaddy or whatever other hosting site, make sure you elect to get that email that should come with the domain. So it should be an info or a contact or whatever variations at whatever your website is.com. Someone say something? I got one more step.
Carry on, sir.
Last step. Use some type of bookkeeping software. So it is critical that you keep track of your business expenses. Ergo, what's coming in, what's going out. This will provide you a report card of how your business is doing financially, your business's health, and most importantly, will give your bank a clear picture of how your business is doing. Ergo, you getting future loans. When tax season comes around, you won't be scrambling trying to do your taxes and calculating your expenses, revenue, etc. incorrectly, which will put your business at risk of possibly being audited by the IRS. You don't want that, or missing out on tax breaks, etc. There's a big difference between filing a W-2 and a Schedule C, because W-2, of course, is your personal taxes. Schedule C is you doing business taxes. Congratulations, you're with the big dogs. I literally look like a booklet. I got my file cabinet here, but it's locked. But literally, my tax booklet, my business booklet is about this thick. And my CPA does that. So my bookkeeper all throughout the year does my financials quarterly. And literally at the end of the year, when it's tax time, she literally hands it off. My CPA, where he literally just types in everything. It's like easy. So, but I know everyone, I didn't start off that way. So let me make that clear. I didn't get a CPA and bookkeeper until 2020. So I don't want y'all thinking that for years I've been having that. When I had the means of financial means, when the business grew enough and I could afford those, I went and got those, and they made my life tremendously easier. So I don't expect everybody just out the gate to have a CPA or personal bookkeeper. So what I recommend is out the gate, I recommend using QuickBooks, There's also PayPal, but I don't recommend that. There's other options out there. I'll let the fellas chime in. But QuickBooks does everything. Like, it does invoices, it does payroll, it keeps track of your mileage. It does, you can even clock in and clock out your contractors and employees. Like, it does everything. And that's what I use today. Like, QuickBooks, my CPA uses that, and I can integrate my CPA into it. Like, everything is just done in QuickBooks. So
Colin, there's a fantastic question
that's
that's
pretty
up
much
there.
it.
It says, there's a fantastic question that's up there because that was one of the things I ran into with my first business. I ended up having to close that business because I did everything myself. I didn't go through and delegate anything. I didn't hire a CPA. I didn't do anything. I just did it all myself. And at a certain point, it grew so big that I couldn't handle it all myself, but I still tried it. Someone asked, how much does it cost to hire a CPA? At that time, I could have even found someone that wanted to just intern. I could have found a college student looking to make some extra money. You can go to Fiverr and get a CPA if you really want to. I have trust issues, so I would want to do it myself or hire somebody that is more well known. But anybody want to share how much their CPA? I currently don't have a CPA, but anybody want to share how much their CPA costs?
So my CPA, he just charges me one fee, and that's to do the taxes. Because that big booklet I was telling you about, like, his firm does the whole booklet, and my CPA is like the best in Houston. So, and that came through a referral of my cousin, who's doing great right now. So, but when I moved to the Houston area, he came as a referral. So, but he's really good. Like, he knows all about tax laws and tax breaks and the formations and just the incentives with coming with different formations. So he's literally guided me structuring my business and helping increase, my business revenues and things like that in the middle of the pandemic, especially in 2021. So he only charged me just to do the taxes at the very end of the year. It's my bookkeeper that charges me monthly to do my statements quarterly. And it's sub 300. I'll just say that monthly that I pay her to just keep everything in line, because like I said, that she produces statements, she produces my profit and loss, so I can see every single quarter how my business did. And then, like I said, she literally hands everything over to my CPA, makes his job extremely easy because my CPA doesn't have to crunch all those numbers all throughout the year at the end of the year. It's like she's doing all that for him and just hands it over to him. He does all the punching and puts it in and all that kind of stuff. So it ranges. What I'm getting charged might be different. You might find a friend, a cousin that's an accountant or something like that that might do it for very cheap. And even my rate is considered very cheap because bookkeepers and CPAs can get extremely expensive. So I would ask around, because this is one of those instances where who might come in handy. It might save you a big chunk of change.
Who you know and who you're willing to use, because you can use a college student, someone who's in school for accounting or finance or business. They may come in and be able to help you, but it's who you trust as well. And I have trust issues, so I always wanted to do it myself. Once you get to a certain point, you have to delegate certain parts of your business to other people. You're not going to be able to do everything yourself. You get to the point to where you should be focusing on what it is that you're good at, what it is you started the business for, and then delegating other responsibilities that take your time away from that.
I can tell you right now, I will not be putting an intern over my financials. I don't care if they're in school for accounting, CPA. I don't care if they're at the top of their class in math. No.
It's a risk. It is a risk, but depending on what your budget is, starting a business, starting out. I started my first business with a tax return. Like, it was maybe $3,000. I started my first business with that. So I started out check to check, barely making it. Like, my check from the job I was working when I started my first business, it never lasted to the second one. It never lasted to the next check. So looking for ways to get things done cheaply I was pretty good at that. I was pretty efficient at that, and that's why at that time, had I done that, maybe I would have had an extra set of eyes just looking over it. And it's not like you're gonna hand them all your finances, hand them all the keys. You're gonna give them all the information. They'll have access to the information as to what you're spending, what's coming in. They don't have access to ship your money anywhere. I wouldn't give an intern access to to make a payment or to do anything like that. Now I still do all the payments and all that. Just make sure my money. Make sure I'm paying everything on time. If I gotta pay this, send me an email. Let me know what all needs to be paid, what all I need to be checking for with the invoice, stuff like that. It's not. I'm not giving. I'm not giving an intern or a college student, or really me, anyone, the keys to all my finances.
I saw somebody with the question mark like 300 a month. I don't know if that they're saying that as a expensive or cheap. But yeah, like I said, it ranges. So it's not a universal thing. It's just based on
Yeah,
who you know
a
and what
CPA
they're
is kind
looking
of like a
for.
lawyer. It's kind of like when you think about a CPA and the pricing, it's more like an attorney. How much does lawyers cost? Well, you got a public defender that's totally free.
Arm and a leg.
and yeah, exactly. Exactly. Then you got motherfucking Johnny. Then you got the Johnny Cochran firm and shit. So it's hard to really answer how much a CPA is. It really is about a relationship between you and that person, and what the scope of work will be. The scope of work is really important. It's almost like saying, how much does a contractor charge to help me build? What are you building, and who's getting the materials, and what kind of materials you getting, and what's the scope of the job? So it's difficult to answer that.
Great
Any more
presentation.
questions? I saw there was quite a number of questions.
we
Go ahead, Chris.
we want to try to keep the. If you have a question, we have the option for you to call in. You can also do a super chat. So if you have a question that you want us to answer live, just hit the super chat. $2, $5, $10, $100, $1,000. Just shoot that to us, and we'll get your questions answered. Or there actually is a link. Check that out. A link in the comment section on our Ask a Black Man Anything YouTube show, right above my head, right there. You can just click that link, call that AABMA.live, and you can join us and you can ask that question. There are several of us that are entrepreneurs that own businesses. Myself, Shan, Colin, Wes, Robert. We've all been in the entrepreneurial space. So we want you all to, be a part of this conversation, because here's the thing. You kind of make us, you drive the show, right? We want to know what you want out of this conversation. And there may be some things that we are missing that we just don't see. And so we do appreciate, I don't recall who it was for the $2 super chat. So I definitely appreciate you for that. We definitely shout you out for that. Thank you very so much.
So what about buying inventory for the business? What was that?
So Blue
Answer
Sox
that
is
real.
asking.
Did a brother start with $3,000?
I started a freight brokerage. Didn't even call. I started it with 3,000. It cost me $750 to get a surety bond for $75,000. It cost me a couple of sites, not access to a couple of different websites. And from there, it didn't cost much to get started. I had a computer, and from there, I just started. I didn't have to have the capital for the trucking companies that were picking up for me, because the hell are those things called? I used company up front, and I just paid them back when I got paid. I had a 30-day thing where they would give me the money up front, 2% of my income from that. So 2% of whatever it was they lent. That's what it was. It was really quick and easy to start, and not very complicated to do. You just got to know a little bit about any part of the shipping industry. You got to know something about fruits and vegetables, which I grew up in California. Fruits and vegetables. I did construction equipment. That was my specialty. I moved a whole. I did a whole lot of that. That was
And Blue Sox. I'm curious with the question that you're asking. What business did Robert start with 3,000? Are you under the impression that it costs more to start a business? Do you think it costs more than $3,000 to start a business, or you think $3,000 was too much? I'm curious as to the base of your question, Blue Sox. Let us know that in the chat. Also, Blue Sox has this question as well, you guys. And he gave a super chat earlier, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw this up. He says, "In fairness, brothers, shouldn't you know how to do everything in the business before you delegate it? Shouldn't?" And so in that, and I'll let you guys answer, but real quick. So as a film producer, in and Wes knows this well because we both out here in the entertainment industry. One thing that made me really effective and allowed me to always have most of my film projects come in on time and under budget is because I never let anybody fuck me over. So we have these different departments. We have grip and electric. We have wardrobe and makeup. We have camera department. We have various departments in the film industry. One thing that made me really good as a producer, and producers, whenever you think of the Oscars, whenever you think of the Academy Awards, Best Picture award goes to the producer of the movie, right? You got best director, you got best actor, best actress, best editing. You got all these, but the best picture, which is the highest award actually at the Oscars, goes to the producer. So to answer his question, I think it depends, and I'll let you guys chime in. But in some jobs, you need to know everything. So if there was a situation, a movie I made back in 2004, I think 2005. I hired a boom operator. Well, he was actually a sound. He was my entire sound department, right? I didn't have just a boom operator and then a sound mixer. Normally, the better you get, the more you have. So this is early in my producing days. So I hired a guy who did my sound, he did my mixing and my boom operator, but he was on crystal meth. He was a drug addict. I didn't know, man. I was just starting out as a film producer, getting shit done. I'm hiring whoever's willing to come for the little bit of money that I had. This dude was late every day. This dude, his sound was sketchy. He was always dropping the boom mic into the shot, and then I learned that he was on crystal. He was coming to work high. He was coming to my movie sets high as a kite. So I had to fire his ass. The problem is I had nobody to replace him. We were almost done with the production. So who stepped up? Me. Now, why would a film producer step in as a boom operator? Because I knew everything about every department there. I knew how to fucking mix. I knew whenever anybody would do something, I'd say, no, I don't think that's right. I think you should do it this way. I'm always teaching people who are supposed to be the experts, but it's only because I took the time as a film producer, knowing that I'm getting paid the most, knowing that I'm gonna make the money on the back end, knowing that all these great things, right? That I can't allow you, one monkey, to fuck up my whole show. And that one monkey would have screwed my whole show if I didn't have anybody to step in and be able to operate. If I had no idea on how to do any audio, if I had no, and I had no equipment of my own, I'd have been screwed, right? Or somebody else would have had to get hired and come in, and I'd have had to pay him an arm and a leg to just to help me out. But because I knew that particular job, and I had my own equipment, I had all my own mic and mixers and all that kind of stuff, even though I outsourced it typically, because I'd like to just sit back in Video Village and just watch the show. But because I knew what the fuck I was doing, it helped me. Now, question to you, brothers, Colin particularly, do you think it is advantageous for somebody to know every aspect of their business, like accounting, before they farm out that job to somebody else?
I definitely think so, and it does range from different industries or what business you might have. So with Shannon, my business is kind of similar to Shannon's. I run a digital media company, so that's transitioned from a video production company before the pandemic. So it transitioned to a digital media company during the pandemic. So my business grew extremely fast during the pandemic. Like I was hiring people so fast, and it still wasn't enough. But that forced me. So it's like when your business grows and you scale it, you'll find out that you have to do more things. So one thing I had to put in place quickly was basically like an internal structuring of everything, because I'm looking at it right now. It's like it's proprietary, it's internal use only, so I can't show y'all. But it's like basically 21 pages long, and it literally shows every position I have at my company. So executive director, project manager, communications director, event coordinator, event support, executive assistant. But it's like literally an executive summary, and then the following pages is like literally a breakdown of what everybody's single role is. So it's like everything I've been doing over the years, I had to put it down in paper. It's like I can no longer afford to go off the top of my dome, because like I have too many people, have too many employees, too many contractors. So I had to get it down. It's like basically creating a manual. So it's like, yes, it's not important for everybody to know that, but the person I'm putting in charge is my project manager. because my project manager is essentially me. They're a clone of me. So it's like I don't have to be so hands-on on everything because my project manager is basically over everybody else, and they can do all the work that I do and communicate that to everyone else within the company without me being there. So it's like they can operate independently of me. So for me, it is definitely critical because just regurgitating that over and over, just if I lose a project manager and I have to hire somebody else, just constantly repeating that, and it's just like people are just going off what I'm saying versus if they see it. So it's just like when they're on board and they see the system, everyone has a copy of this. Like, here's the line of communication. Here's who talks to this person. Here's who talks to this person. Every time we bring on a new client or a new project, this is the hierarchy here. This is who communicates with this. So, and it makes it easier. And the great thing about when you scale and things like this is just like you have to do it once. It's very tedious. It took me maybe about, I want to say 15 to 20 days to do this, but it's like it has to be done once. And then, of course, as I continue to grow, all I got to do is just do small tweaks here and there. But it's just like these are things you're going to come up against. And these are things that make you more attractive when you start going after like more high level stuff like government contracts and things like that. It's like you already have this stuff in play because when I say the government wants to see everything, that's one of the things that the government wants to see also. They want to know before they give you this $1 million contract or $700,000 contract, who your team consists of, what are they gonna like, what everybody's gonna be doing. They're just not gonna hand you a check. They want to know what your team consists of, what they look like, what everybody's role is gonna be. So for me, it's crucial, it's critical, not just for the contracts, but like just for the basic operations of my business. Just constantly reiterating that to everybody on board is just, it's redundant. So I'd rather just have a manual just that everyone can just refer to.
I feel like I kind of got a different take on that, just slightly. Like, yeah, obviously it's ideal because you're not gonna have someone come in and screw up everything, and you're not even gonna know what's where there's certain businesses that is very advantageous. All businesses, everything that your business is gonna go through, and everything that you need to do for your business to succeed. But there is you do have the capability slowly to learn as you go. Definitely, I would recommend having people in your business, people who are your mentors that know your business and know things about your business, are in the same as you are. I'm currently doing a wine business. I'm not going to grow it. I'm going to take my time with it. I don't know everything about wine. To wine that it may take a long time for me to learn everything about wine. So, successful in it, I plan on being profitable next year, if not this year, by the end of this year. It is possible, but like Shan opened up saying, is screw him. You have to be able, if you're going to do a business and you don't know everything about it, you do have to know when somebody is taking from you. You do have to be able to properly to hire someone who is just as knowledgeable, or definitely knowledgeable in the areas that you don't know, but they're trustworthy. It is to know everything about a business to be successful in it. You just have to, surrounding the business is capable of holding its own. So the people you hire, without screwing you over, that's kind of my input on it, fellas.
So I'll try to be brief here. Make sure I'm not meeting. Okay, I'll try to be brief here. So yes, you want to know as much as you can about your business. Like, and people may not think of it as a business, but if you're like an Uber driver, you can use your tax ID to pay a company to pay yourself, right? That's a business, right? Even though you're a sole proprietor in a sense, even though you're a contractor, you can still do that as a business. And you don't have to know everything about that particular business in order to do it correctly, right? You really get in the car and drive. But if you're talking about a more traditional, more established business, yes, the business that I currently run, I own a virtual staffing agency. Before I outsourced anything, and right now I literally run the company from beginning to end. I'm HR. I am staffing. I am the guy who does payroll. I am the guy who does the phone calls. I do the interviews. The only thing that I don't do is my taxes, and the reason why I don't do my taxes is because I don't know taxes, business taxes, and I don't want to mess that up because I've already been audited before, and that's not pretty. Just to be fully transparent with you, went through an audit in 2017, and ended up owing a five-figure dollar amount, and it really really stung having to pay the IRS more than $10,000 at any given time in my life. And over the last, and this was in 2017, so I you don't need to know everything. But right now, for this business, I can tell you that I can hand over the business to my son and teach him, and I can, walk away knowing that the business will continue to generate revenue. So yes, you need to know as much as you can before you delegate. But for certain businesses, as Robert just alluded to, you don't have to know every single thing. But you do want to learn before you hand it off, because as Shan alluded to, also you don't want somebody to screw you over. I want to also give can you put that super chat back up? Thank you, Blue Sox, for the $20 super chat. We appreciate you. He says, I've been buying inventory for my business using my personal credit because of ear of use. Okay. I have 10,000 available from the same bank, and I have my other account set up with, and I only have 3,000 available through my business credit. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate you sharing that. Just FYI, you can build your business credit. You have to have, if I am correct, at least 5 business trade lines. I'm not the expert on this, but I do know that you can build your
personal trade lines.
No. Business. To build up your business trade lines, you need a Dun and Bradstreet number. I do know that. You need a DNB number. You do need to have your EIN, and then to build your business credit score to increase your credit favorability with banks. I think you need to have 5 trade lines. I've heard as many as little as 3, but as many as 5 is what I've heard over the last 6 months. But I don't need business credit right now, so I don't really want to try to be the expert on that.
So that's why I said personal trade lines, but you said business trade lines. So how do you get business trade lines? What are business trade lines?
Business credit. So like you can have an account with Quill. You can oh man, I would have to pull it up. So like you don't have to have a credit card, but you have what is it? It's called my brain doesn't work as quickly. It's like a 30-day pay. What is that called? Dog. You get 60 days to pay. You can buy
Net 30, net 30, net
Net
60.
30, yeah. Yeah, Net 30, Net 60. You can get that with like a quill.com. You can get that with I have some sites that are already down. We might have to just talk about that on the back end, but because I don't have it all right in front of me. But you
they're
can
asking about Dun and Bradstreet, so it's just like, yeah, that's the next level. So that's going to be another topic for another day. This is just the basics of starting a business, but we'll get to that next time.
So I will say to you real fast that a Dun and Bradstreet number, you can look it up, DNB. I think it's DNB.com, but just look up Dun, DUNS, and Brad, BRAD Street. Just Google that. And you have to have your employer identification number in order to get a DNB, the letter NB number, and that's how you can build your business credit. And I think the scores go up to a 100. Unlike your credit score, your personal credit score goes up to I think 850. So which lets you know that mine ain't an 850, but we're getting there. So.
And Dun and Bradstreet will help you when you're getting if you're going for like your own entity or something, like not just business credit, but if you're getting like a warehouse or if you're getting a storefront or brick and mortar, like that will come in handy when you're trying to go for those commercial setups.
Correct. And just FYI, I don't see any of the comments anymore. I maximize my screen, so I don't see a comment. So unless the comment is on the screen or unless it's a super chat, I can't see any of the things. I think I figured that out from Shan because I stopped looking in the comments. He said, I don't look at the comments. I wanted to get away from it too because it kind of shifts my focus. I will say, I want to take a moment. If you have a business question that you want us to answer live for you, that we may be able to assist you, right there, right above my head, call.aabma.live. Make sure you show our producer your face in the background. As long as they can see your face, then you don't have to show your face on live if your makeup is not on or you didn't shave your head. But we definitely want to be able to answer your business questions. So we appreciate you. You are always welcome to join. If you don't want to join us, then send us a super chat. By supporting the show, it gives us the opportunity to answer your questions that you may have. Everybody has $2, $5, $10, $20 here and there. If you probably are buying the lottery ticket, so send us $5, so in a super chat, so we can put your question on the screen so that you can be recognized, because I'm sure you want people to go to your YouTube channel if you have content there, and then we can send a super chat shout out to you. So back to you, Mr. Producer.
I was going to say, thank you for answering that question, Chris, because I actually didn't know about the business trade lines. I know about the personal trade lines because another avenue you can go to get business credit is getting personal trade lines, or 3 to 5 personal credit cards, because then you can use that as leverage to get business trade line or business credit, basically, because they want to see how you're doing on your personal side. Like, what are you doing with your personal credit cards? Are you staying under the 30% utilization? Preferably, you want to be between 9 and 12% utilization. But if you have 3 to 5 personal credit cards, you can leverage that, take that to the banks when you apply for a business, either credit card or a business credit line. You can use that as leverage. So, but I'm gonna hit you up about that, Chris, because I want to hear that. I want to know more about that option.
I am not the expert. I can just kind of point you to the expert. So I can tell you where to go to get the information that I found. A lot of it just honestly is on social media. A lot of people put, I feel like I'm yelling. A lot of people put the business information, or how to open business credit, how to build your business credit. You can go on Instagram, and there are several influencers that talk about how to build your business credit. Right on Instagram. I would, some of them do it on TikTok. So, I mean,
Yeah, there's plenty of it. Really quick, Chris, there's plenty on YouTube. I can put together a list of links. And on YouTube, you're going to get, versus just influencers, you're going to get actually a bunch of people who are either professionals and they do it for a living, or they're people like you and me, and but they're tried and true with their practices.
the link, Blue Sox, thank you for the $2 super chat. The link for the call in is call.aabma.live. It should be already in the comments. I am actually not looking at the comments. It usually just automatically pops
he's
in,
here.
so you may have
He's
to
here
scroll
already.
up. He's there?
Yeah, he's in the back room.
Okay. We can bring him on. I'll let me know when you are ready. I will. Cool. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Blue Sox. We appreciate you so much. Did you verify them right? I should never. I know I didn't have to ask that.
Do you mind coming on camera?
He's good.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, good.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much for joining us, Blue Sox. Welcome to Ask a Black Man Anything. We appreciate you for joining us tonight. How did you want to join in the conversation?
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm trying to get the audio on my headset, but it's on my phone.
You're loud and clear. Perfect.
Okay.
Better than
Hey, I
Roberts.
appreciate you guys talking about LLC, starting businesses. The brother that started it was a freight company. Yeah, I like that because right now I back in, what was it, last year? I want to say 21. I've always been like years ago. I I'll give you backstory. Years ago, I drove armored trucks, and I met a dude that built guns for fun. And I asked him why he didn't do it as a business, and he said it was too complicated. So I just thought it was a challenge. So I was just like, okay, let me try to go down this road. And mind you, I got the warehouse and everything. I didn't know how to build nothing. I met a guy that wanted to build he wanted to make bulletproof vests because we worked at this county building, and there was a county official that worked in there, and they took money, and so they had remodeled, and they had bullet resistant drywall installed. And so he was a Mexican guy. He knew some Mexican guys. They cut him some of that drywall in the shape of like a plate to go on a plate carrier. And so like, hey man, check it out. My side chick got it made for me. And I was just like, oh, okay, it looked cool. I didn't run with it because my mind was focused on some other stuff. But I got the warehouse. It was just a liability, and it never went anywhere. But the idea always stuck with me. And so now I done took the class in how to build AKs. And I was looking into that. Now I'm seeing like this, the Supreme Court giving us constitutional carry. Then Congress is over here talking about gun control and banning assault weapons. And dang, like I'm like down the road and everything. I don't know if I feel like I can maneuver around it and everything. Maybe I could do some holding company type of business and everything, and be ready to kind of let one get sued out of existence and just roll another one. But I got to get out the ground. But I'm in California, by the way. That's why I mentioned that. But so
okay, Blue Sox, can you hear
regulatory
Blue Sox,
yeah. What's going on, boss? Yeah,
I'm in LA. I'm in LA too. A couple of us are in LA. So one, you already know you're already in the wrong state to be talking about.
Yeah, but hey, I got to start where I live, right? If I can do it here, I can do it anywhere.
So now my next question is, before we get into like the business entity and the structure and whatnot, isn't there some federal regulations on building guns? You said your boy was building guns.
Yes. So I haven't got my FFL yet, but I'm not selling anything.
Can you even make guns? Can you? Let's move the commerce out of it. Let's move selling the guns that you build. You said your boy was building guns for fun. Is that even legal to build guns for fun?
If he's not building them for commercial purposes, yes, it's legal for a private citizen to build guns.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that you can go. You can like right now. You could go to a gun store, and if they got usually they got AR receivers out there. You can buy an AR receiver. They'll transfer it to you just like a gun. But if you buy like receivers out of state, like I buy my AK receivers from like Chowder Guns, and they're like, I want to say in like West Virginia, they transfer them to you just like it's a gun because it's serialized. They got the 80%, which are a little different, but I think they're trying to regulate those. But they got the serialized ones they treat just like guns. And here's the little thing with Cali is if it's they got a thing where if you buy a handgun, you're limited to one gun every 30 days. But the receiver, if you look at the law, a handgun is considered like it has a pistol grip, it has some other features on it. So that receiver, and technically, well, rifle probably fall in the category, but that receiver doesn't qualify as a handgun. So there's no limit on how many of those you can get a month. But my brother, he used to buy guns and sell guns, and when he started hitting like 10 a month, the ATF, started trying to holler at him and everything. So I think 10 is like the limit you want to do. But as far as purchasing them, like it's like about 10 a month. But yeah, they treat them just like guns. You get them transferred in your name and everything. The 10-day waiting period.
Okay. All right. So then just enlighten us real quick. What do you see? What do you foresee as your business plan? Like, just give us a quick rundown on because you said, I know you got the 10,000 in personal credit. I know you have the 3,000 in business credit. I'm not sure if you're going to pick up. You said you're going to pick up a 1,000 square foot warehouse next year. What exactly do you plan to do, and do you see it viable here in America?
Well, what I want to do is so what inspired me was my first gun. I bought my first AK offline from Kentucky Gun Company. It wasn't, smooth. They transferred it out here. The FFL transferred it to me. Did my 10-day waiting period. It was like a budget gun. It wasn't all that, but it was like, oh dang, like the middleman can make money out here. And then I took my class with a dude out in Arizona, and he showed me what he was doing. They don't, and a lot of these places they don't do like you come up to their door and buy a gun. It's all middle. They all dealing with other FFL they ship the guns out to another FFL, and then you deal with them to comply with all the local laws. So I was like, okay, that sounds kind of cool, you know, like, and then he got 2 guys that work for him and everything. I was like, okay. And so I reached out to him as far as like, you know, just different stuff as far as getting it off the ground. And, you know, he's been pretty helpful to me. But my business idea is right now, I'm just in hobby mode. I'm just building guns just to get the skill under my belt and everything. I want to get probably like maybe 30 to 100 just built. I found packaging. I found, you know, I found parts kits. I found everything I needed for to be 9. I believe it's 922R is when you buy like foreign parts, but there's certain laws as far as you have to have so many American-made things on that gun for it to be legal for commerce in America. And so I just feel like I just want to build them, stack them up, get the skill under my belt, and then just have an online gun store and ship them out to other FFLs. They do all the regulatory stuff on their end, and you know, and if you don't pass, then there's a fee for us to, you know, get it back. Like all these gun stores kind of work the same as far as that aspect of it, but it's just. But right now, living in Cali, it would just be I build them and I just don't sell anything in Cali. And then in order to sell in the Cali, if I'm making money, I would have a holding company that owns this company, and the holding company has another company that exclusively does business in Cali. And if it gets sued, it can get sued ever existing, and the holding company just start another one. The business wouldn't own the business wouldn't have the lease. The business wouldn't own any of the equipment inside the shop. Is literally leasing something another company's holding, and it's just doing that business under a DBA.
Okay. All right. Right. And you
so
see,
I mean, it's crazy, you know, because now the laws are changing. So it's like, it's getting. You know, I feel the ground shifting under my feet, but you know, that's kind of like what I've been working on, you know, or you know, kind of thinking about and working on since like 2017. Is like, how do I get this off the ground?
Hey, Blue Sox. You know, if you keep promoting your show, you're gonna have to drop us like $1,000 for promoting.
I feel it, brother. I feel it.
Like promote their business and not drop more money, man. Go ahead, Shannon. It's on you.
Yeah. So Blue. So do you have a question for us? So is there something that you were curious about? Because you had a lot of questions in the chat. Maybe you have one final one.
You guys were hitting on stuff earlier, and now I'm trying to remember what I wanted to ask you. The tax elections. So S Corp, C Corp, are those just tax elections that you do? Because I remember there's another thing other than LLC that did have minutes you have to do, but with S Corp and C Corp, are those just tax elections? So you can be an LLC that's taxed as or treated as an S or C corporation, or is that like a totally different entity?
So from what I understand in reference to LLC, LLP, LP, and stuff like that, most like law firms are LPs, are partnerships, and LLCs are for more of your standard businesses. And then the S Corp, C Corps are for the larger companies that are doing larger revenue. So to have a business and it's just you, a single member LLC, or if it's you and a friend or brother, a multi-member LLC, you want to not necessarily just select it just to be selecting it. You want to make sure you're in the right tax bracket in order to have that type of corporation. But Colin, I know you wanted to answer too, so go ahead. Or anybody else, I'm sorry.
well, I was just going to add.
The biggest thing that you need to know is that a C Corp pays taxes. A C Corp pays taxes on the money they make. I got both. The S Corp doesn't pay taxes on the income. So that's just the biggest difference between it. Typically, it's going to be a larger entity where you have employees, where sometimes you want to get the best tax shelters as possible to make sure that you are getting using as much advantage that the government will legally allow you to do. But just know that the difference between the C Corp and the S Corp is where a C Corp is typically going to pay, not typically, always going to pay taxes on the money that comes in. It's just like an income tax for the business, whereas the S Corp doesn't necessarily do that.
Right. And one other thing to add.
On the S Corp, it lands more on the owners of the company. And now you start talking about, that's why you start talking about a bigger entity. But go ahead, Wes.
Oh, I was just going to add to that. You know, you can also be an LLC and be taxed, as you mentioned, Blue Sox. You can be taxed as an S corp. And so whether you're an S corporation or you're only your LLC are being taxed as an S corporation, one of the great tax benefits is that as an S corporation, you don't have to pay taxes on, so you can pay yourself from your business and you don't have
Mm-hmm.
to pay taxes on that money. So
Yep.
you're not being
I was just about to
taxed.
chime in.
Right. Yeah.
Wait.
Wes,
You
go
don't have
ahead.
to
Keep
pay
going.
taxes on the money that you make from the business, or the business doesn't
No,
have to pay taxes on the income.
the business doesn't have to pay taxes on the money it
Exactly.
pays you. So even if
Yeah,
you're a
exactly.
single, like, right. So if you're a single person as a business owner, but you're being taxed as an S corporation, then the money that you pay yourself, you can write that off from your business.
Mm-hmm.
Can write that off.
Mm-hmm.
Right. To
And
Wes's point, you can be. Oh,
yeah.
go ahead, Wes.
No. Go ahead, bro.
To Wes's point, you can be an employee of your own company because that's how you pay yourself. So if you are doing entrepreneurship or business ownership full time, that's essentially you determining your own salary. So if you pay yourself $1,500 a month, somebody do that math or whatever. It's like you basically go on a $15,000 or $17,000 salary. That's owner's distribution. So yeah, to what I said, it's like you won't get taxed when you're paying yourself. So you can definitely be an employee in your own company because you still got to eat. So there's money, I would set aside or transfer from the business account to a personal account to get necessities and things like that. That's part of my owner's distribution. But then when you go to get cars or things like that, you want to go get a house and things like that. If you're not putting it in the business name, then if you're just doing it on a personal level,
Yeah,
then you gotta pay yourself something.
You look broke.
So
You look.
What was that?
Right.
No, I'm just saying you look broke. Like I know some millionaires that pay themselves $24,000 a year based on their
Yeah,
company.
exactly.
Right.
It's just like
now,
a paper. It's just like I'm in poverty, but it's like the business making $2-3 million.
On his name. Like I got one guy in my head right now. On his name and he looked broke and is impoverished. Now he live up in the hills. He got this but everything is in the company's name. He does everything in his company's name. He said, "Me, I can't get a credit card at Target, but the company, I'm Gucci."
Right.
So,
right, because I know somebody. He just got like a fleet of Benzes, but they're all in the business name. Because he just writes it off, so it's like he uses those cars for his business. So, but he was just like, yeah, for me, he's like, I'm broke, I don't have nothing. So that does come into play also, just how you pay yourself, how much you pay yourself. That's part of owner's distribution. So whatever you set that to be, you gotta be consistent with it. So just think about that, because once again, you want to separate your business expenses from your personal expenses. So make it to where it's enough to cover your personal grocery, gas, your rent, all that kind of stuff. But if you're using your place as your place of business, you can write off pretty much anything if you're using it for business. Like I work out of my place, so write-offs. I use my car for business. Calculate those miles, write-offs. So, but yeah, owner's distribution is an important thing.
Okay. Yeah, because for me right now, I just wanted to kind of get the business off the ground as far as the entity, and I already knew there's going to be like a learning process for me. But I learned from that last time, when I get the utilities, when I get the lease, I don't want it to be in my name. I want it to already be in the business's name, from jump. And so that's why I was kind of like, okay, what can I do right now? Like, okay, so the LLC fee in Cali, that's a reoccurring expense. I got to file my statement of information every 2 years. So those are
pump them. I was gonna
so
like, don't destroy your personal credit trying to invest in your business, because
no.
That is one thing.
It's not even like that. I pay I pay off my balances at the end of the month. Everything's in the budget. Everything's budgeted for.
All right, just making sure. Just make sure you stay below
Yeah.
that.
No. I think this whole journey really started with the richest man in Babylon. So by the time I'm here, I already had some habits in place.
Love it. Well, we thank you, Blue, for joining us, man. Did you have any other questions that you wanted to ask us?
I did have one. Oh man, you guys really be slapping on everything. Like I really appreciate it. Like I was just looking for something to listen to because I'm heading to Atlanta tomorrow afternoon for the Liberian Business Expo because I put in the chats. I was looking for like some side businesses and everything, or plan Bs just in case the gun thing don't work out. So I'm trying to So when the brother was talking about the freight and everything, I was just like, dang, that kind of sounds like import export, but he just domestic with it. So I'm just trying to see if when I go out there, what opportunities there are. I violated all your rules you done mentioned earlier. Like I don't have a domain or nothing because I'm not trying to take on no reoccurring expenses. So I got the Gmail, I got the Google Voice. I made some business cards real fast, but just so I could hand stuff out so I could like link up with people. But I'm thinking about reoccurring expenses. But damn it, I forgot the question I was gonna ask.
So,
But you know what?
Blue,
But anyway, I appreciate you guys and I appreciate the content.
Blue, real
Yeah.
quick. Let me tell you this. Here's the thing that you can do. I don't recommend that you do it, but you can go to any domain website. I use well, I'll tell you who I use. I use a site called ionus.com. ionos.com. I buy my domain and it also allows me to buy my website, right? They do all of the hosting. Now, of course, I have to design my own website. If you're saying you don't have a website, you don't want to come to Atlanta and say, hey, check me out on facebook.com/, we, black, build AKs or whatever it is. What you can do is you can buy your domain name and just have your website say under construction. Just tell people, hey,
Okay.
I'm doing changes on the back end. I'm not saying that's the best idea, but it is an idea to have your website. Now, here's the thing. It actually puts you on notice to actually have content put on your website. And as you were asking in the chat, I built my own website. I It was very satisfying knowing how to build my own website, but I actually want my website revamped because I don't like the aesthetic of it. I think my website is crappy. I don't even really give it out or really use it because I don't have to send people to my website. But when they ask me if I have one, I do. So I would suggest you do that. That's an easy way, and it's I think it's less than like $20 or something like that, to buy the website, to buy the domain name. You got to look on the website, but there are plenty of website places where you can purchase the domain name, purchase this, purchase that, and they do the hosting. But they also let you learn how to build your own website. And while it is a daunting task, it's rewarding if you can figure it out. And then later on, you can come back and just have somebody, edit it and rebuild it for you. So I
I'm
hope
gonna
that
do you
helps.
Okay.
one. I'm gonna do you one better, Blue, because you don't have a business established, right? So your website, or would your website have something to do with? Ideally, would have something to do with the GUN building business,
Yeah.
right?
Or just custom builds for sale or whatever. But yeah.
Right.
Right.
So in the meantime, if you're just networking, because it's I definitely understand what you're saying, Chris, but the under construction is almost can in some people's eyes be worse than just not having a website yet. So,
It could be.
but one thing I would do is I would grab a domain. I personally use GoDaddy. So a side note is I actually part of my business, my branding and design business. I do web development under that business, and so I would just a good practice would be to grab the domain name, and for now, you know, if you're only networking, this is just for networking. You're meeting people and you're trying to figure some stuff out. Then from
Yeah.
that standpoint, because you're not representing yourself as a business, it's okay when you meet people to give them a card, put your website on it, but then forward that link, forward that website. You can do it for free to, let's say, your Instagram. I don't know what your Instagram looks like, so of course aesthetics is everything to what you're doing and the kind of people that you're talking about networking with. You don't want to send them to your Instagram and then your Instagram is a bunch of big booty hoes on your Instagram.
Yeah.
But but I would do that, and that was one other thing I was going to tell you.
You pulled a Robert.
Ah, yeah, I put Porter Robert. It was one other thought. It might come back to me.
But
It's not coming
Lisa,
out.
I believe Lisa, you said
Lisa.
you was looking for a black web designer. So there you go, right there, Mr.
Lisa,
West.
she's a black web designer.
No, she said she was looking, or did we know of any black web designers? So there goes Mr. West right here.
Oh, I didn't. I must have missed that. Was that
Okay. Well, I appreciate everything. Like, yeah, I wish I heard that earlier. I already got the business cards made. I got my LLC name, my name. I got a Google Voice number, and I got a Gmail that I just made real quick so people could reach out to me. But yeah, I wish I heard all this stuff yesterday before I ordered, the 200 business cards.
Yo, I just remember what I wanted to tell you. Another a good resource to go to. Are you familiar with Earn Your Leisure? They have a
Yeah, I'm
podcast,
familiar with
YouTube
them.
channel. Okay, yeah, that's a great spot, man, for a lot of business knowledge and education. A few years back, I've started checking them out when they first started, and I've learned a ton just from them and the people that they bring on. So that's definitely something you should check out.
There you go on screen right there, West. See it below you.
Ah, there it is.
New client.
Blue,
Ding ding ding.
Right. Hey, but hey, I appreciate you, brothers, and if this is a regular thing you do, I'm gonna check you guys. I'm gonna keep a notification on and check you guys out because yeah, just hearing about somebody that's reading down how you start a business, get the EIN, and get the business bank account. Like, wait, what's going on? It ain't even Friday night.
Yeah. Blue Sox, we are here every Thursday night. You're in on the Pacific time. So we are 7 p.m. every Thursday night, literally every Thursday night.
Okay.
We've been here for a year on YouTube. We've been doing this exact same podcast for a year and a half. We started on a different social media platform and wanted to bring our content live so that we can expand our base and share what we thought was good content. We appreciate you for joining Ask a Black Man. We appreciate you also for all of the super chats. And just know, as a point of my personal privilege, the next time you come and promote your show, make sure you drop $1,000 because we don't.
When you see me dropping 1,000, you know I'm building guns and selling them online. That's what's going on.
All right, have
So
a good night, Blue Sox.
yeah, have a good
All
night,
right,
sir.
you gotta take it easy.
And ironically, Robert just popped back in. I don't know if he's in the back room, but he was saying that he was interested in getting the freight. So this show turned out to be way better than I had actually imagined, and I'm excited. Right, we as a business owner, it's exciting for me. And I'm gonna tell you guys just a real quick personal journey. Well, let me ask, Colin, you've been in business for how long?
14 years.
Wes?
I've had my business for 10 years, well, 11 years, but I've been in business for all my life.
Okay, Shan,
Yeah.
how long have you been doing the current business that you do?
Legally 99, so 23 years, but before 99. But officially June 1st, 1999, so that's 23 years and a month.
So I started my staffing agency in 2014. I've been doing some sort of business since I was 11. And I actually talk about this in my autobiography. I used to be a paper boy. I sold the Sunday paper was $1.50, and the Friday paper was 35 cents. Right. So
Wow.
I would sell the Sunday and Friday papers that I had extra for $2. Right. So I was making air
Hustler.
quote a 50-cent profit.
Hustler.
But watch this. I also sold 3 Sunday papers for $5. Now, all of these papers were free, so I'm making a $5 profit. But if it was a charge per se, it's $1.50 per paper. per Sunday paper with all of the comics and the coupons and stuff like that. And I would, do it. That's how I started in business. That's how I knew I wanted to be in business, because I started small. This year, and I'm just going to tell you something, because I talked to my son wants to. Matter of fact, Shan, I'm gonna let you talk to my son. He wants to design T-shirts, right? I said I have friends that have made millions in, friends that make T-shirts, right? That made millions in T-shirts, millions of dollars in T-shirts, or thousands or however much they've made. I have friends that do what you want to do, son. But the point is, I started in 2014, and the first time in 8 years that my business seemed over 8 grand in 1 month was this year. So don't think that you're going to literally just go from zero to $500,000 or $1 billion overnight. It may happen. I'm not going to dash your dreams. But I will tell you, as a business owner, that you have to do something that I heard the other day. You have to raise your work ethic to your goals, or lower your goals to your work ethic. So if you have a bad or a piss poor work ethic, then you're not going to really be extremely successful. If you don't have the systems in place, as Colin was saying, to run a successful business, you probably won't see 10 grand a month. It's very and if you do, the next year you won't know how to duplicate it. You won't know what to do to grow it or to expand it. This year was the first year that I saw $8,000 in a calendar month for my business to make. And I'm not bragging about that, right? That's thank you. That's not a brag, right? But that's literally saying this. It's been 8 years since I've been doing this, and I'm gonna share this with you. I also got divorced behind this same business, because I was building this business and I knew nothing about hiring, payroll, staffing. I knew nothing about it. I literally have been building it from the ground up. And I'm sure that just like anybody else in America, that's building a business from the basement floor to the second, third, fourth, or 100th floor, they are starting and they are learning. And you can make $10,000 in a month. It's possible, but you have to know how you did it in this month, so that you can know how to continually do it in the preceding months. Because just doing it once could be a fluke, but doing it multiple times is something that is called sustainability, right? And that's what you all want. You want your flow, your currency, to be able to flow. And here's the last thing I'll say, and I'll toss it to you, Colin. When I was talking to my son. My son is 19. He turns 20. He's a freshman at Fort Valley, right? So I said, hey, you want to make, I said, how much money do you want to make on an annual basis in selling T-shirts? And he said, I don't know. I said, well, how can you be in business and you don't know your numbers? He said, all right. I said, just give me a number. So he said 500,000. I said, well, how much is 500,000 every month? I don't know. I said, okay, well, do the math, right? So he comes up with the number. And I say, well, how much is that? So I think it was like 40 something thousand a month or something like that, right? And then I said, well, how much is that a day? And it was like 1,400 a day, right? Something like that. So I said, how many T-shirts do you have to sell at $35? Because you want to sell his T-shirts at $35 in order to get to 500,000. So at $35, he would have to sell at least 40 T-shirts a day to 40 different people, or sell 40 T-shirts a day to get at $35 to get to 500,000 for 12 months consecutively. This is the last point I want to make. Business is fun and games, but you must know your numbers. You must know your numbers. Go ahead, Colin.
Mic drop. That's it.
Anyways, any final thoughts, Wes, Shan? We gave Colin a whole hour. This was the Colin show.
We good.
No, this was Ask a Black Man Anything. This was all the entrepreneurs chipping
No,
in. So
I'm just teasing, man. I'm just teasing, man. It was good information, man. I kind of sat back, and I guess having been knowing how to get an LLC, knowing how to get an EIN, knowing how to do certain things, it's kind of like, oh, I know this stuff. But hearing that it was valuable to a guy like Blue Sox, absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. People in the comments, from what I'm hearing from you guys, are sharing that this is valuable. So I definitely appreciate you all for chiming in. Make sure you share this podcast with your friends. If you know a woman who's an aspiring business owner, a college student, most college students don't want to work. Share this podcast with them so that they can go back and get some information on how to legitimately make some business revenue, not only just 1 month, not only one day, but sustainable over 12 months and for the lifetime of their business. So we appreciate you all for joining us. That is our show. Send us home.
Hey, Blue Sox. Go to Longmire44 on Instagram. LONGMIRE44 on Instagram. He's one of the brothers that was here. He's traveling right now. He had to get off the live, but he has some information that he said he wants to give you privately to help you out for your international shipping. So he got some game on international shipping. So make sure you hit up Longmire44 on Instagram. He's gonna DM you some private stuff.
And Lisa Boss, if you're there, you can reach me. This is Wes. You can hit me up on IG at Artistic IQ. That's Artistic IQ on Instagram. And if nothing else, I can certainly point you in the right direction. But I'm sure I'll be able to at least bring some value to you, what you're searching for.
Wes, you remember that Lisa was on the show a couple of weeks ago?
Oh,
yeah. That's Lisa.
Wait a minute, I can't remember. What show was that?
I think she was actually on. If that's the same Lisa,
I don't think it's the same one.
Yeah, I don't think that's. She responded, Wes. She said thank you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's not the same one.
No.
Okay.
Yo, this was great, Colin. That's one of the things I think one of the things just in the Black community in general that we don't talk about is finances. We don't share with each other what we're making, and we don't have these dinner table discussions about economics and the whole nine. And it's important to not only seek out the information ourselves, but also pass it along. So this was great. This was great. And sometimes it's just that one person that you might inspire, or that you might give some game to, that takes off and then shares that information with hundreds. So this is really dope.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, this is a fire that will forever burn in me. I'm passionate about business and entrepreneurship. So if it helps one, mission accomplished.
That guy, the bald guy on our outro, that could be Wes.
Stop. He cannot be me.
Yeah, me and Wes already concluded that 2 episodes ago.
He wish he could be me.
Wes, you already like to take your shirt off, so just get in.
That's the first thing. He had his shirt on, so he can't be me.
Listen, go find some grass. Namaste. Put your hands together and have somebody take a picture of you.
Right.
For sure.
Namaste on them, Wes. Oh, Lisette. I'm sorry, Lisa Boss. You're not the same last week, weeks ago.
All right, so we already have Wes's video. We just need the other guy's video because that's Wes right there.
Right.
I'm gonna see if I can find one that represents me. Or is there a guy talking to a young lady? Nope. Wes, 10 seconds is yours.
Hey man, you gotta stop.
Wes said, "Don't mention it, Chris."
You set me up, and so you bring pressure where there should be no pressure, because I'm unpressurized.